Hi, my name is Jenna, and I'm with Temple of Geek today. Here, I have a special guest who's here to chat about Anime NYC, the upcoming convention in Manhattan. Give a big welcome to Peter Tatara. How are you today?
Doing just fine. Thank you very much.
Can you just tell me a little about yourself and a little about what you do getting this convention together?
Yeah, so, hi, I'm Peter. I am the founder and event director for Anime NYC. We launched the event 5 years ago, going now into our largest event ever with over 55,000 anime fans coming from around New York and around the country. As the event director, my fingerprints are on pretty much all of the show. So anything from high-level guests to panels to booths to everything in between, very involved to make the show come to life all year round.
It's a big event. This is the fifth year of Anime NYC,
Yep.
right?
Yep. So this is our fifth live event. So we started in 2017, ran up until COVID, took a year to go virtual, and now back for our fifth year, and very, very thrilled with that.
And have you been from the beginning? You've been with Anime NYC planning this from 5 years ago.
Yes, yeah. So the actual founder of the event. So
Wow.
my background is I've been an anime fan since I was a wee little kid, and I saw Vampire Hunter D on Sci-Fi Channel. I had no clue what the hell it was, and wanted to discover more. So ran anime cons in middle school, high school, college. That turned into a role working for an anime publisher in New York City called Central Park Media. That turned into actually working for New York Comic Con for close for 10 years on their content and guests. Ultimately departed the New York Comic Con company and helped found Anime NYC, really to build a space that gave anime fans in New York a place that they can call home, and to give all of the creators and companies actually making anime a space in New York City just for them to celebrate what's cool in Japan here in the biggest city in America.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, I'm in New York, and I've gone to New York Comic Con, I think 9 years now, or I think I started going in 2013, and it very much is a broad spectrum of pop culture, whereas I imagine Anime NYC is giving focus to just that side of it.
Totally, yeah. And there's nothing wrong with a big, broad Comic-Con. I love Doctor Who. I love Avengers. I love a lot of things that are not anime.
Right.
But a Comic-Con like that, it is the full breadth and width of what is popular culture around the US. Anime is a laser focused on what's cool in Japan. So it's the latest anime, manga, video games, toys, but it's coming from Japan. So if you've got an interest in anything that is super nerdy coming out of Japan, there's something there for you at Anime NYC.
Now, I know New York Comic Con's in the Javits Center, and Anime NYC is also going to be there. Is it? What is the size difference? This is going to be my first year attending, so I have nothing to compare it to. So I'm just curious.
So we are 55,000 unique attendees. We are almost the whole Javits Center, but not the entire thing. So we don't take up all of the space that New York Comic Con does. Our expo floor, the level 3, that exact same size. We have the 4th floor. We've got panels downstairs as well. There's a few halls they have that we don't have yet, but ideally we'll get them in the near future. So we're still a very big show. We're the second biggest anime convention in the country, but not yet the size of a supermassive whale like a New York or a San Diego Comic Con.
Right. I was going to say, even though the Javits Center is so huge that even a part of it is giant.
It is. When we launched the show, the goal really was building a space for fans to come together, giving them a place to come home, and had no clue that we would grow as quickly as we have. If we were just 5,000 anime nerds having a party, that would have been a success.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Totally. But absolutely amazed. With where we are now, we get fans from across New York, across the U.S. We've got fans from all 50 states and fans from over 30 countries joining in, just given the size of what we are producing and given the type of guests and premieres and things like that. So like it's an amazing time. And I feel like if you're a fan of anime or manga, or there's one of them in your life, like this is your Christmas, this is your Super Bowl, this is your Mardi Gras, this is the day or the weekend where you can be yourself and be surrounded by everyone else who knows and loves these same things.
That's the great thing about conventions, isn't it? Like, you don't have to worry about putting on airs or anything. Just go and be yourself, right?
Fully. And like, that's always what I've loved about this. Like, since before anime conventions, when I just ran like anime clubs, that was it. It was, having a place where you could be yourself, discover new things, and fall in love with these things. And while I think we always knew that was important, I really feel the past few years with COVID really, really, really put that into focus, as for the first time, suddenly we don't have that connection. And I think, for the first month of COVID, we thought, cool, Zoom, this is my life now. But
it's not.
And I think we realized, like, going to a movie is very different than watching a movie on your TV. Going to a live concert is a very different experience than watching a clip on YouTube. Even just going to meet someone over coffee, very different than Zoom. And a convention especially, it's suddenly here you are, immersed, submerged in other people that are just like you. And like, again, like it's your home. And I feel we're in this space now where for a lot of us, we've not had that in 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And as cons are coming back, like it's very often for people that very first time where they're out again, or they're seeing their friends again. So like it just really adds to, not to get pompous, but like the importance of this. Like, yes, it's a show about Japanese cartoons and it's fun and silly and great, but like it is, I think, a very cool and meaningful thing to come together again. And we've all been lacking that,
right,
for the past few years.
I completely agree. We're, at our hearts, we're social creatures. And yes. I think, the convention is such a great way to promote community. I think, you're able to find people who share the same interests and you're able to kind of be free, I guess, almost. I don't know how else to put that, but
absolutely. And like so much of like, any convention you go to, like it's the guests. Like we have the creator of Attack on Titan coming to the show. We've got these amazing things and I'm thrilled for that. But also like so much of the show is also just, I get to hang out and do fun or dumb things. And I mean that in the best sense of the word. Like as much fun as you'll have, getting an autograph or meeting a creator or a photo op, like there's as much fun in those quiet moments where you're just hanging with friends or new friends you've made.
Right. That's great. I love that. And I'm curious, how big would you say cosplay is in this? Like what part does cosplay play in this convention?
I think maybe, 3% of our attendees cosplay. No, cosplay's huge.
Yeah, I don't think that sounds about right.
No, cosplay is absolutely massive. Like it's the kind of thing where, when you're looking out into the crowd at Anime NYC, it's half, if not many, many, many more of our audience that are there fully in cosplay. And for some, it's costumes that they've put together in a week or two. For others, it's cosplay that they've spent months and months and months building. And this is, again, like their moment to be themselves, and how they express that fandom is with this craftsmanship. So we have a ton of cosplay events. We've got probably close to 24 cosplay workshops and panels. We have a massive cosplay contest on Saturday night. We just announced one of our biggest cosplay guests at the show, Stella Chu. Stella is world-renowned cosplayer and influencer, actually from New York, lives in the West Coast now, but thrilled to bring her back home to New York. to do 3 days of fun cosplay stuff with us at Anime NYC.
That's a lot of fun. That sounds like such a blast. I'm a cosplayer myself, so I'm very excited about that aspect of it.
So tell me more. Who you cosplay as?
So I've been planning for Anime NYC for months now. Maki Zenin from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Nice.
But from the manga, so I'm going to do special effects and everything. I got the whole special effects going on. I don't know for the other days, but I would say my go-to is usually Lady Tsunade from Naruto. She's my go-to.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
And like, it's been cool too, like looking at the show over the past 5 years, like it is very much like what's new and what's next. So it's just been so cool to track either what fans are into or the cosplay. Because like Jujutsu Kaisen, like that came out of seemingly nowhere.
Yeah.
Has become one of the biggest titles, in the US and around the planet. We've got some of the main cast from Adam MacArthur and Yatko coming to the show. But like so thrilled to see how that's become this generation's like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, it's funny.
Not to date myself, but like it's amazing to see when like us as a large fandom latch onto something. And I think we're seeing that now with Chainsaw Man, which is going to become just the next big thing. So yeah,
that's definitely.
I'm thinking out loud. I gotta let our security guards know about that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. They're just some chainsaws. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, guys.
But it's funny. I was actually thinking of the Jujutsu Kaisen cast. I was at a convention in Dallas in June, and like half the cast was there, and it was kind of a little bit of a. I mean, in comparison to a New York con, it was a little bit of a smaller con. So you had a chance to talk to them, and they were all like, "Oh, you're from New York? We're going to be at Anime NYC." And they were like promoting you guys so much. They kept saying they're going to be at Anime NYC. Come see us. So they're a fun bunch.
So they are. And I think too, like that's like you look at anyone who's in this space, whether they're, making a convention like me or voice acting, like if you're involved in this, it's because you're a fan, because you love this. And I feel too like Jujutsu Kaisen, like it's so much fun.
So much fun.
It is a lot of fun to watch and even more fun to be a part of.
Right.
And cannot wait for the new episodes coming sometime next year.
I know. And I do love what you had said about seeing what's popular. And, I feel like in cosplay, especially, you can see that at conventions. Like you kind of can pick Demon Slayer is going to be Demon Slayer is huge, for instance. So that's, you're going to see them everywhere, the Demon Slayer cosplayers. And I feel like Naruto is always big still years later.
It is so it's when you look at cosplay, you see what are those big trends, what are those big waves or groundswells in fandom. But it's also like, I think cosplay is all about self-expression. So while you're going to have that, I'm sure you're also going to end up having some dude dressed up as the Kool-Aid Man wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, because why not? Oh,
I've seen some quirky ones. I think I always think those are the best, where out of nowhere it's like the Kool-Aid Man.
Yeah, sure, cool.
So who are some of your biggest headliners you're excited about?
Totally. So I've mentioned, I think, the biggest single guest coming this year. So we are absolutely thrilled and humbled to welcome Hajime Isayama, the creator of Attack on Titan. This will be his very first appearance at any event in the US. So he's doing signings and a panel at the show. Absolutely thrilled.
It's amazing.
Attack on Titan, I mean, it changed. Like it changed the anime world when it launched 11 years ago. And thrilled to present him now in New York City. Beyond that, we are welcoming, as I mentioned, the main cast of Jujutsu Kaisen. We are welcoming as well the director of Gundam Hathaway, the latest big Gundam movie. So he's also the character designer of all the pretty boys in Gundam Wing. So something there. We are welcoming a number of folks from Studio Trigger. Trigger is behind Cyberpunk Edgerunners that just launched on Netflix. A few years ago, they made a film called Promare, which is nonstop neon and monster and just rocket fuel, and has really become a Rocky Horror Picture Show type experience. So we're doing a big screening of that. We are presenting a Final Fantasy concert celebrating the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy.
Ooh, 35.
35.
Ooh, that really hit me. Oof.
So
Got
yeah,
me in real time.
a lot of different reactions, like, oh, that's so older. Oh, I remember back then. But so we're doing a Final Fantasy official 35th anniversary concert with Yoko Shimomura, who's one of the composers of Final Fantasy. She composed Final Fantasy 15, also composed the music for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
so
wow.
very excited for that. We are welcoming George Wada, the founder of Studio Wit. Studio Wit is behind, speaking of popular anime, they're behind Spy Family, which was one of the biggest titles that came out this summer. So a lot of amazing things, from Japanese creators to US voice actors to manga illustrators to everything in between. The other super awesome thing as well is a lot of premieres, not just US premieres, but premieres before their episodes even shown in Japan. So fans coming to Anime NYC will be able to see things before anyone else in the world. So a ton of really cool guests and tons of stuff to watch and see as well.
That's awesome. So what are you personally most excited about?
Oh,
yeah.
So that's an interesting question. And yes, I feel Isayama-san and Attack on Titan is the top of the mountain. That is, of course, deeply, deeply, deeply excited about that. But there's other more nuanced things that I'm also really into. So they're geekier, weirder things, but it's an anime convention, so I guess that's where you can you can celebrate all of that kind of stuff. So while I love Attack on Titan, I love everything like that, it's when you dive deeper into this stuff. We've got panelists talking about obscure things like collecting Japanese vinyl records, stuff like that, which is just a subculture in the subculture. And yeah, I could geek out to that.
Right. There's a place for everybody.
So that's cool. The other thing we're looking forward to, Bleach is back. Speaking about dating ourselves, Bleach is celebrating its 20th anniversary. So we've got the voice of Ichigo, Johnny Young Bosch, coming out to the show. So really excited to do some Bleach festivities, as that was definitely one of the shows that I just ate up as a youngster. So excited to now, thrilled to see Bleach come back, and really thrilled for this to become a multi-generational show where it's the old fans coming in along with a new generation of fans to discover Bleach for the first time.
Right. To me, it's great. I think that's awesome for these. You can share it with siblings or parents and kids, and it's definitely multi-generational. Like you said, it's great. So what does your artist alley look like? Do you have a decent amount of artists coming? Is that a decent part of the show?
Yes. I take a lot of joy in our artist alley. So we've got about 350 artists in Artist Alley, coming from across New York, across the US, as well as globally. Artists from Canada, from South America, artists from Australia, from Europe coming as well. And it's really exciting to go there, as we get, for the 350 some tables, well over 1,000 applications, over 2,000 applications.
It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
It's one of the most difficult days of the year is us going through all those.
Right.
Same thing with panels, is going through everything that's been submitted and trying to distill that down into what we can present, as there's so much more that we just can't fit. But with Artist Alley especially, it is, our goal is presenting a very broad range of art styles. So it's not just, anime.
Right.
It's a very cool cross-section of anime versus indie art versus up-and-coming folks versus art school students. It's a really awesome thing. And every so often we'll get an email from someone saying, dude, your Artist Alley was really cool and broad. I'm like, yeah, it was.
That's the point.
Yeah, well, but it is, because like it would be easy if it all is boom anime, but like 350 of the exact same thing, that's not compelling. So I think for us too, like we're in New York, like it's want to have an art style that's representative like the city is.
Right.
So like definitely check it out. Some really cool stuff there.
Artist Alley is always one of my favorite parts of the conventions. I always say it's probably my most dangerous place. I can spend most of my money there.
The other cool thing with Artist Alley, so one of the journeys we've taken with the convention center over the past 5 years has been getting them to allow different foods and Japanese foods in the venue. So love chicken fingers, love hot dogs. However, we're an anime show. So we've been thrilled to partner with the convention center to grow our Japanese food offerings. So right next to Artist Alley is a very large Japanese food hall where we're working with very well-known Japanese restaurants from across New York to serve all sorts of Japanese food, from an acclaimed ramen restaurant to takoyaki to Japanese curry. So like some amazing things. And if you've never had stuff like octopus balls or Japanese curry, like it's well worth the experience. They're amazing.
That's a lot of fun. That's very unique. I feel like other conventions I've been to, I don't recall seeing something like that. And I think that's an awesome experience for fans.
Totally. And like, I mean, anime, like it's certainly like, it is a gateway to Japan.
Right.
Like anyone that watches anime, like there's something in the back of their mind wanting to learn more, whether it is wanting to study the language, wanting to try the food, wanting to eventually go to Japan, and hey, they're open now, so please do.
Right.
But like, for us to present, all these different acclaimed restaurants 20 steps away from Artist Alley, like it's so worth it. So definitely check that out as well.
So when do you start planning for a show? How long does it take you to put this together? 5 years?
So we spend a full year putting it together. So our event is always November. So we're November 18th through 20th this year. And we will typically then spend the next month. So we take December to pass out a little bit. After we pass out, it is then doing post-show surveys and discussions with fans, exhibitors, guests, really to understand what worked well, what didn't work, what can we do better, and what are new ideas for next year. Then as we get into January, it's starting planning for the show. From January to July, it is largely more strategic conversations. And then once we get July through to the end of the year, that really is executing everything that we've been planning the first half of the year. So that's generally how things go. I will say big guests can be multi-year conversations. Like we are already in talks for various artists for 2023, even though we've not run our 2022 show yet. But just given how big and how booked and how much prep is needed to bring out a major Japanese manga creator or band or voice actor, sometimes we could be talking to people 2 or 3 years in advance to put stuff together.
Right, I'm sure. It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process. Well, at least you get that month of December to pass out, but you get 1 month.
That'll be nice.
That'll be nice. So where can people find out more if they're interested in Anime NYC?
Absolutely. So animenyc.com has everything right there. Also, we're just at Anime NYC on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We've got a lot of our announcements and guests on the website right now. Our full schedule, full Artist Alley list, and full exhibitor list are all launching before the end of the month. So look for those coming soon as well.
Okay.
But really thrilled to bring New York back together for their biggest anime party ever.
I am very excited. This is, like I said, this will be my first year actually attending. I've done New York Comic Con, I've done that all, but I tried to go last year, but like my dates just didn't line up. Mm-hmm. So this year I'm finally getting to go. I'm very excited. Cannot wait to experience it.
Oh, I can't wait. Like, you're going to have so much fun.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. We really appreciate it, and best of luck with the convention.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.